tell you about the time that I walked into the gallery and my painting was on the floor. Now, for those of you who are just meeting me, for 4 years, from 2019 to 2023, I owned an art gallery and intuitive lounge in Stuart, Florida. And there were a lot of kooky stuff went on over there. And it was a beautiful place and it was all very positive. But every once in a while, a trickster sort of energy made its way in my doors and some kooky stuff went down. So, just to give you an understanding of how the building was designed, it was a very open space, but there was a back door and a front door. So I would park in the back, I'd go in through the back door, but you could see all the way through the front. And when I would walk in, I could assess anything that was going on in there. And I had a painting that it was a 24 by 48, so it was long and thin. And I had it hung up. So there's a hallway and I had it hung up adjacent to the hallway and through Velcro, and it just hung there. And every once in a while, it would get knocked down. Now, the Velcro was super strong. So whatever energetic force, just hear me out, whatever energetic force was in there, every once in a while, that painting would come down. So when I would come in the morning, I always knew, and it didn't happen a lot, but it happened enough that when it came down, it would hit, like it would swing down and it would hit the wall over here. And I wound up putting one of those protectors, like a doorknob protector, like a little plastic around piece on the wall because it kept denting the wall. Anyway, I digress. But I would walk in, and one day I walked in and the painting was down. And if that's happened before, like I said, it's happened a couple times, I'd be like, hello. And I would just get a sense that there was something energetic, and I would either, I knew how to cleanse it myself, or I would contact my very gifted friends that knew how to cleanse an energetic space that has been tainted, for lack of a better way of putting it. So I walk in, the painting's down, and I just had an uneasy feeling. And I walked in and I'm like, hello. And something just felt off. And as I walked through the space towards the front door, I actually walked through a pocket of fear. It was the wildest thing. So as I'm walking, I'm like walking, and then I'm like, oh, and all that. And it was, how normally when we feel fear, we have a thought to be scared, and then we feel fear. But sometimes we just hair stands up in the back of our neck. We actually feel the fear without the thought, or the thought comes after. I walked through this pocket and I got the freaking jeebies, scared the hell out of me. So as I'm walking and I walk through this fear, I just hightailed it through the front door, because I told you from back to front, through the front door. And immediately I had the phone in my hand as I was walking, because it was I was like, oh my God. But I called a friend of mine and I was like, get it out of here, and whatever. So evidently, people coming into the gallery, we're all energetic beings, and we all carry a frequency, and we align with similar frequencies. But sometimes when we're interacting with a lower vibration or a denser vibration, or something that's just, not light, airy, high frequency, I'm trying to be kind. It can there's hitchhikers, my friend Wendy calls them fleas. They get on you, and it was brought into my gallery. And if it goes unchecked, that energy expands and it attaches to similar energies as people come in and out of the gallery, and it expands. And what happened was it created this dense, trickster-like energy in the gallery. And I actually walked through it and felt it. So, telling you this for a couple of reasons. One is because, oh my God, it was crazy and I want to share it. It was super interesting. But the other is we all have different gifts. We have different, I like to call them the clairs, right? So if you have a clear sight, if you have vision, if you could see things that other people can't see, and not always literally, you're clairvoyant. If you have a keen ear and you hear things, or you get ideas and words in your head, or sometimes with voices that aren't your own, you're not necessarily crazy necessarily. You can be clairaudient, and there's different sort of clairs. You just know things, claircognizant. I happen to be clairsentient. I feel things on a physical level and understand things on an emotional level, because clairsentience and clear empathy, they overlap. But again, that conversation is for a different day. And because I feel the energy so strongly, I always liken myself to, my spirit animal, to frogs. I love frogs. Anybody who knows me knows I've always loved frogs. And they don't drink water through their mouths. They sit in the water and they absorb it through their skin. So that's how I look at myself, that level of clairsentience. Anyway, I digress. But I was able to physically feel that energy. And as a result, it created fear in me. So I'm sharing this so you could really start to look at your intuitive abilities. We all have them. We don't think we have them, but we all have them, but they lay dormant, or they become blocked by the trauma and drama in our lives, by the distractions, by the numbing agents. But we all have tendencies. Think about how you best learned in school. Were you visual? Did you just see things, or have a photogenic memory and just get things? Could you just sit in class and just listen to the teacher, the lecture, and get it? Were you a kinesthetic learner? Did you actually have to have the experience of creating something, making something with your hands, or taking notes? How did you learn? Or do you have an ear for music? Wherever it is you lean is likely the nugget, the seed of your gift. And when you recognize that about yourself, and when you trust that about yourself, and then you begin to eliminate the distractions, like I said, eliminate the numbing agents, clear out the gunk that burdens us, your gifts will begin to expand. Now, there's certain games you could play and tricks you could do, things you could do to hone your gifts in a practice sort of way, a practical way, but just in general experiencing life, if you clear out the vessel that receives the information, you are more likely to be able to receive that information. And there's a billion ways, but at the end of the day, it's becoming well, happy, whole, aligned, empowered, spiritually connected, the whole nine. You know the drill. Broken record hour with Dana Sardano. But yeah, so that story was, and I've got a billion stories like that. And the more I become in tune with myself and my gifts, the more of these, this was a scary one, but the more these magical experiences I have, and you could have them too. Yeah, you. No, not me. Yeah, you could have them too. So, clean out your vessel and then they'll show up. Goodbye.